What's up YouTube, this is LDS Reliance. Today I'm going to do a little review video of a power inverter I was sent. And before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I received this product for free. I'm not being paid to endorse this product, but I did receive it free of charge from the manufacturer in exchange for doing a review video on this. So I'm going to be very honest about my impressions on this. But I just wanted to put that asterisk out there before I get started talking about this. So this is a 300 watt power inverter, as you can see, and so I want to kind of unbox this, and then I'll show you, test it out a little bit and give you kind of my thoughts. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've used probably a dozen different inverters, and so I kind of know some of the differences and some of the things to look out for. So here we go. Okay, so it's pretty small. This is a 300 watt inverter. I'll tell you the specs here in a little bit, but it's small and aluminum. It's lightweight. It's got two 110 volt power supplies or receptacles on the one side, and then two 2.4 amp USB 5 volt supplies. So those are nice because you can fast charge your cell phone or your tablet or whatever with those. That's plenty of amperage for that. Looks like a little light there to indicate power. This is critical with inverters because this gives you flexibility. These terminals, these screw-on terminals. So what I mean by that is you can use them in your car. I'm sure this is going to come with a car adapter like this, so you can plug it into your car. But you can take the cord off and use it to power, from a solar panel or something else that provides 12 volt power, which is really nice. I don't like the inverters that come with a permanently attached cable, usually of this kind, because they're assuming that you're going to use it in a car, but a lot of us don't. So I don't like the ones that come. So that's one plus. Comes with both types of cables, and you can take them on and off like that. And then on and off switch there, and it's got a fan. So this is going to be something I'm going to look for when I crank this thing up, is how loud the fan is and how often it comes on and off, because I've had some of these that I really liked the performance, but they were really loud and obnoxious, and the fan came on all the time. So I will take a look at that when I get it powered up, but that's what it looks like. I'm not too terribly familiar with this manufacturer. It's S-N-A-N, Snan, I guess is how you say it. It's made in China, and yeah, so let's take a look at what else. It comes with a user manual, and I'll go through that and look at the specs real quick. It can power down to 9.6 volts. That's the low voltage threshold, which is actually kind of nice. That's lower than some other ones that I've used. So what that means is, sorry for my sniffles there, but what that means is it will continue. Now hopefully you're using a deep cycle battery, but it'll continue converting power to AC power, even if your batteries are run down a little bit and down to 9.6 volts from your normal 12.6 range. It doesn't say the max surge capacity. Usually with these 300 watt inverters, they'll claim a 600 watt surge or 400 watt. 400 watts probably more accurate. So I'm going to assume this is a 400 watt surge, which means basically it can provide 400 watts for very short periods of time. Anyway, so that's kind of the unboxing. Now let's try to test it out. Okay, now we're out in my shed where we're going to use some of my golf cart batteries to test this inverter out. Each of these batteries is 6 volts, and I have them wired in series, as you can see here. So it will provide the 12 volts we need for the inverter to run. So I just wanted to show you that first, and then we'll kind of focus on the inverter and the loads that I've chosen to test with. Okay, so I have the inverter connected here. It's not turned on yet, but I have a few things to test with. I have one USB device. This is a quick charging capable cable for my smartphone. It can pull 2 amps, so we'll test the USB ports with that. I have a power tool battery charger here, which I know pulls between 82 and 90 watts. And then I have a workshop light right here with a 14 watt CFL bulb in it, so we know that'll pull about 14-15 watts. And then I've got a fan, a high-speed, it's not a box fan, but it's round, so anyway, I know what it pulls as well. It pulls 285 watts on the highest setting. So I kind of know what these loads will do, so we'll try to load this thing up and see what it does. First of all, let me turn it on with no load so you can see. Okay, so it is on. And you can see that hopefully you can see that the light is on. The fan did not kick on, and I like that because some of the other ones that I've used, you know, when you first turn it on, it sounds like a jet taking off. It's really loud. The fan spins up to its max and then kind of quiets down as it starts running. But this one doesn't. I haven't heard the fan kick on at all yet. So we've got that turned on. Now let's grab some loads. We'll start with the fan. We'll see what that can do. I know it's 285 watts, so that's very close to the limit of this thing, and we'll see how it behaves. Okay, now I'm going to turn this thing on, but I won't be able to talk while it's running. So basically, I've got it plugged in, and I'm going to turn it on the lowest setting, which will, I actually lied. I tested it with my watts up meter, and it pulls 285 on the lowest setting, not the highest setting. So I will turn it on low, and then we'll crank it up to high and see what happens. High pulls about 400 watts, so we'll be able to see kind of what the surge capability of this device is and how it behaves when it goes over its rating, just with this one, and then we'll test some of the other stuff. Now it does, because this is a modified sine wave inverter, meaning that it is not a true sine wave. It's not it's a kind of a squared off power wave, which means that it's just easier to produce that, and it's not good for certain motors and certain sensitive electronics. And this motor on this fan does make a weird noise. It's not like when you're using house power or a pure sine wave inverter. So definitely want to keep that in mind. Don't want to run your computer or sensitive electronics directly off of this inverter because it is modified sine wave, and it can cause problems for certain motors and certain electronics. Just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and power this on and see what happens. Wow. Okay. So there you have it. Hopefully you're able to see that, but you can see it was pulling 377 or so watts for what, probably 20 seconds there, with no problems, no hiccups, no complaint whatsoever. So that's actually pretty good. A lot of these will only give you a couple seconds before sounding an alarm and cutting out power or something like that. So I'm actually pretty impressed. That's pretty good. So but keeping in mind that the motor did sound a little bit strange, so you probably want to test out your electronics on this first, or your fans or whatever that uses certain types of motors may behave weird, may overheat the motor because that's to work harder. So anyway, then let's go ahead and test the rest of the stuff that we've got gathered and get some conclusions. Okay, here I've got it running the shop light and the power tool charger. Both of them are on and working fine. There's no flickering from the light. There was no complaining at all from the battery charger. And the reason why I wanted to use this is every once in a while when I'll connect that to an inverter, it won't like it for some reason. The charging light doesn't come on, and I have to unplug it, plug it back in several times, and eventually it'll work, or just won't work ever. So this one in particular, it does work. I don't know if that's something to do with the modified sine wave. I kind of doubt it, but anyway, this thing's a little picky. That's why I chose it. So we've got that's all working fine. Let me plug in my cell phone here just to complete the testing. So we kind of have basically everything on this loaded up except for the other USB. We're only going to have one of the one of the USB charging. So I don't know if you can see that, but it does have the lightning or the fast charging icon lit up there, so it is fast charging instead of slow charging. So anyway, that's pretty much it. My thoughts on this is it's a great unit. I'll put a link to it so that you can check it out for yourself. I didn't hear the fan kick on at all, so either it kicked on and it's extremely quiet. Obviously when I had it loaded up fully with the fan, I wouldn't have been able to hear it kick on, but that is not an issue at all. The noise is great. It's not hot to the touch by any means. Some of these get a little bit hot, so if you have them in your car, kind of in your lap or something, I don't know why you'd have it in your lap, but sometimes if you touch it or move it, they're pretty hot to the touch. So this one doesn't have that problem. I loaded it up the best I could and never heard any complaints, no problems whatsoever. So I'm really impressed, and I would highly recommend people buy this. I'm going to seriously consider having this kind of as my go-to little smaller style inverter. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.